Hello, welcome back to another very special episode of Helping Others, where Olan is interviewing Coach Morris. Let's listen.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Olan and I'm in the 6th grade here at Vail Elementary, and today I am interviewing Coach Morris. The reason I am interviewing him is because I would like to play football for the Hatchets. So today we're going to be interviewing Coach Morris, as I said. Coach Morris, may I ask you some questions?
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Olan. I'm really excited about you inviting me. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate it.
Okay. So my first question is, how long have you been a coach for Washington?
Well, we just finished under me being the head coach and our staff. We just finished our second season. So I'm going, right now we're preparing in the off season for our third season here at Hatchet High and leading the Hatchet football program. That's all the way down to kindergarten through 12th grade.
Interesting. Okay, my second question for you is, what is your favorite part of being a coach?
Things like this. You know, I've done this now. You asked me to do this my second time doing this. It's things like this, working with young guys like you, that we can get you involved in our program, show you a pathway to what we offer in football, but we also want you to be a multi-sport athlete. So if there's other sports that you play, you know, I really support that. But my favorite part is this. Obviously, we love Friday Night Lights. Obviously, we love competing. But it's really getting our kids involved in our program, our Washington kids involved in our football program, and letting them get around the other coaches. We have great coaches, Olan. Guys that played in college, guys that work in the trades, guys that have different various backgrounds, but they're all passionate about Hatchet football. They're passionate about guys like you. And so my favorite part is just being able to represent Washington and to be able to compete.
Nice. Okay, my third question for you is, what would I need to buy or bring to practice next year?
Well, it just depends, you know, it depends on a lot of things. But one thing is, for you and all your buddies, I don't care if they're a kindergartner or a 6th grader or a 7th or 8th, don't worry about what you don't have. Don't worry about the cost of it, because we always got somebody to help you. Okay, I don't want you to ever worry about that. I don't want anybody, any of your buddies, anybody you join, nobody has to worry about those things. We've got great alumni that are helping us help you. But you're going to need to have cleats. You want to have football cleats. You're going to want to obviously have t-shirts, shorts, socks. Yeah, you're going to want to have those kind of things. Now, you're a 6th grader, so you're going to come out as a 7th grader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So it depends on what position you play. You'll definitely need things like mouthpieces. We provide the football helmet, the shoulder pads. You'll want to get football pants at the 7th grade level. If you don't have them, we've got extra pants. But more importantly, beyond the equipment, here's what you're going to need to bring. You're going to need to bring a positive, enthusiastic attitude. You're going to need to bring discipline and work ethic and be focused on wanting to be a champion, because that's our goal here. We want to win football games. We want to be a champion, not just in the game of football, but also in the classroom. So we want you to be a good student, okay? And you have good grades and be a good student not only in the classroom, but in the halls and in the community, because we do some community stuff, right? We work with the community. But as long as you bring a good attitude, the equipment, we can help you with the equipment. So don't worry about that. I want you to bring a good, positive attitude, be coachable, be teachable, be a great teammate, and be open-minded to say, hey, my success here is only a stepping stone to 8th grade, to freshman, to high school, okay?
Okay, my fourth question for you is, when does football start at the junior high school?
Okay, so there's a couple answers to that. First of all, for the athletes, if you're not doing a winter sport, we open up the weight room and you can come in and learn about how to lift weights and speed and agility, and how to learn that side of being an athlete and developing as an athlete. That starts here in another week or so. When winter break starts, we'll start opening up the weight room. For junior high, that will happen in January. We'll open that up where the junior high guys can come in then. But you're a 6th grader, so you're okay on that, right? Then once school's over at the end of May, around June, we'll start having junior high camps where you can come and learn skills and fundamentals of football in the summer. But official practice will start whenever school starts again. So last year, August 2nd, the first day with football practice, we started junior high football the first day of school. So once school starts was when the official first mandatory type practices happen. But before that even happens, you'll have plenty of opportunities for skills camps, for junior high football camp, obviously athletic training opportunities as well.
Okay. My fifth question for you is, what got you interested in coaching football?
It was my experience as a young kid. I started playing football when I was in third grade here in Washington. And, I was a bigger kid. I was a kid that went through a lot. I think that I needed an outlet. Of course, I did basketball and baseball and the other sports that kids do. But I think with football was one of those things. I liked watching it on TV as a kid. I was a Dallas Cowboys fan when I was a kid. And of course, I loved watching college football. But as I came up through elementary and then got into junior high playing, I liked it a lot. It was really high school that really got me more in tune to it, because in high school, I played football, but I also did baseball and track in the spring. Me and a couple other buddies did two sports in the spring. And after my sophomore year, I was having some success as a high schooler. I started getting recruited by colleges to play college football, and I knew I wanted to play college football. And so once I came through, and then I got into college, I had an opportunity to play in college at the University of Indianapolis. And the biggest part, I wanted to coach football. It wasn't that I wanted to coach just anywhere. So I did coach at a couple other places as an assistant when I was up in Northwest Indiana. And then I coached my daughters in their sports because they did all the various sports. It was more about, if I was ever going to be a head football coach, I wanted to be a head football coach at my hometown. And the reason I wanted to, Olan, is because I always wanted to bring what I learned being other places. And I wanted us to be one of the best programs in our conference, in our region, in our state. But I wanted more for us, and I wanted to be able to give back to the alumni and all the others. I think the biggest thing is what I've had to learn, and I've never been a head coach until being at Washington. So there's a lot to learn, right? I've run organizations. I've always been in recruiting, sales, and marketing, and I've always loved football. And certainly I've had an experience as a player, and I had an experience as a coach with my daughters and their sports. But the long answer short is why I came back to Washington is for guys like you and for our alumni. I wanted to build a program here that all the alumni always wanted. I wanted us to have the best facilities that we could have. I wanted us to have the best equipment, and I wanted us to produce the best teams that would be the type of teams that would compete and win conference, win sectional, and compete at the state playoffs. So what got me interested in football, I've always been interested because I found a place for me. It was a great outlet. I love the team camaraderie. I love the discipline. I love the working out part. I love the game itself, the physicality of the game. I loved how hard it was and how much success I got out of that came only because I worked hard. I wouldn't have been any good if I wouldn't have worked hard. I wouldn't have been any good if I would have not been a good teammate. I wouldn't have been any good if I wasn't coachable. And I had great coaches all the way up, coming up through youth, through junior high and high school. And then, of course, college, I had these great coaches at the college level. And I met some great guys, and I loved the camaraderie. I loved the team I was around. I've been around, in college, I was just an average college player. But I was around guys that were great athletes, that were great college players. And so I loved being a part of something. And so be able to come back and give back to my hometown brothers. If you're playing football, man, I'm like your big brother now because I'm an alumni, right? And you're going to meet some of these other coaches and be like your big brother. And these alumni are going to be loving you and your teammates and your buddies because they did it too. And I love that part of it. I love being part of something that's positive. And so what got me interested in coming back home is I always said I was going to because it means something to me. It changed my life path and the experiences I gained from it and the network that came from it by connecting with people was all because of football.
Interesting. Okay. My last question is, do you have any questions for me?
I do. First of all, I want you to know you're awesome. And I appreciate you doing this. And thank you for asking me. It means a lot. And I really am glad to be talking to the students at Veal. And of course, when we talk off air, that how important Washington is. And we talk about the other schools, Griffith, North, of course, Lena Dunn, my alma mater. But it's all you guys. And, I've known some people, met thousands of people in my life, my working life. And what I appreciate most is that you asked me to do this. I have a question for you. If you could be anything, right? If you could do anything in life and be something, what would that be?
I would like to be I'd like to play on a football team. Your football team, because I'd like you as a coach. I feel like I would. Maybe other coaches I'd like. I haven't really played football ever, but I choose to be a football player right now.
Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. So we'll make you a football player and we'll give you the opportunities. If you say Coach Morris, or if you see any of the other coaches, whether it be Coach Isa, Coach Stoll, Harwood, or any of the other Coach Dorn, or any of the other coaches that we have, because we have a lot of coaches, okay? We have a lot of coaches in junior high, we have a lot of coaches in high school, we have a lot of coaches in our youth program. But I'd ask you, okay, you're going to be able to play football. We'll get you there. But if you could, in your career, if you had a job, what job would that be?
If I could choose a job, that's kind of hard because I have multiple, so...
Yeah, but that's okay. What would you like to do?
The one that I'd choose for my number one would have to be either like a scientist or like a football coach.
Okay, perfect. A scientist.
Okay.
All right. So when you say a scientist, what do you like? Do you like biology? Do you like chemistry? Or you
like
engineering?
I like chemistry because like all that stuff.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. That's awesome. You know why I'm asking these questions? Because with the game of football, we're made up of a myriad of different types of kids, personalities, whether it be what they are in terms of academics, what they are in terms of athletic, size, shape, color, all that. We've got a senior that'll be graduating this year. His name's Logan Hill. And Logan Hill is like a very good student. I'm talking like straight A's kind of guy, has been his whole time. And Logan Hill got in our football program before I got here, and kind of liked the game, right? Fell in love with it. When we got here, here's a guy that really had to work hard as an athlete, but he was already an exceptional student. And so he gets through his junior year. He's a starter, plays safety for us, plays receiver. And he had to really work hard in the offseason to get his body right and his athletic ability right. And so fast forward, he finishes his junior year. He starts for us, plays offense, defense, every position you could think of in terms of defensive back and receiver and such. So we met in January and I said, what do you want to do? He goes, I want to play college football. Well, I already knew he was a great student. I said, what do you want to be? He goes, I want to be a biomedical engineer. I said, great. So what would you say is the best engineering school in the state? He says, Purdue. I said, okay, let's be honest. You're not going to be a Big Ten football player because those guys are just exceptional, and we're already past the recruiting process on Big Division I. I said, have you ever heard of a school called Rose-Hulman? He goes, it's interesting, Coach, that you say that, because Rose-Hulman, I Googled biomedical engineering and Rose-Hulman popped up. So we made it a goal last January that we're going to do everything we can do. I already knew he could handle the academic side of it, but he was going to do everything he could do in the off season and have a good senior season that he could get recruited by Rose-Hulman. They're a Division III NCAA school, one of the finest engineering schools in the country. Long story short, they invite him to a prospect day. He goes and competes, and he got offered to play college football at Rose-Hulman. And he wants to be, he started out thinking biomedical engineering. Now he's thinking more chemical engineering. What's neat about it is this is a kid from Washington that will be the first person in his family to go to college, let alone be a college athlete. That means something to me because I was one of those kids. I was the first one in my family to be go to college, let alone be a college athlete. Logan Hill, I need you to meet Logan Hill because if you like chemistry and if you like being a great student like that in science and such, I need you to meet Logan Hill because that guy's going to graduate this year. He's already got his offer, and it looks like he's going to go play at Rose Hall Institute of Technology. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So for a guy like you, the reason I asked you specifically what you wanted to be, I'm connecting you now to somebody that can give you some background and some experience. And he's a fellow Washington resident. He's a fellow Hatchet like you're going to be. And he could be a great person to look up to because he's an exceptional student athlete.
Okay, that was interesting. Okay, this concludes our not presentation. This concludes our interview of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, bye guys. Bye.
Thank you, Olan. Have a great day.
You too.
That was such a great interview. I feel like I learned so much. I hope you guys did too. Have a great day.